Okay, so I would like to share with you a couple articles, and I believe those articles are very interesting, especially on those immigration bills, where we currently stand on those bills. Remember, we've been following those bills, and sometimes it's really difficult to know where we stand. But if you read or listen to what politicians are saying, it kind of gives you a hint on where things are going. Okay, let's start with this first one. This one is an article from Politico. Remember, I've talked about Politico a lot. Politico is a really nice source, and I believe, in my opinion, this is a very reliable source of information. So on this article, just see the title. It says Bush pushes immigration reform as GOP sidesteps a deal on it. And why is it important for us to read it? Why is it so important for us to know what former President Bush is saying? It's important because former President Bush, he's a Republican, and his opinion or his view on immigration has a lot of weight on the Republican side, and his view, because of his status as a former president, his view could in fact influence some of those senators, Republican senators, of course. That's why it's important for us to read it, to know what he's thinking and what he's saying. I read it, but I want to point out something, especially the very important thing that I think he's right. And he has a different approach. Of course, he's a Republican, but he's right on most things, and his opinion could in fact influence some of those Republican senators. Let's get right into it. The first thing is that he's talking about the issue. He says that the issue of immigration is so polarized, okay? And the issue has been exploited in ways that do little credit to either party. So everybody's trying to exploit that issue. Everybody's trying to talk about immigration reform on both sides. But the thing is, nobody's really doing anything. Really, to be honest, they're talking about it, but nobody's willing to come together and really give us a solution. So that's what it's saying. And it's just that the issue is so polarized, and it's really giving or doing little credit to either party, which is true. Okay? And then for years, people have been wanting to really come up with this immigration reform, but nothing has been done. And in his opinion, he's in fact regretting that he wasn't able to achieve that when he was in power, but he supports the immigration reform. Okay, he's in support of it. And then he told this this newspaper that he wants it to be basically he said that long-standing calls for immigration reform, but nonetheless puts him at odds with many of GOP's likely 2024 presidential contenders. So, and then some of them really align with former President Donald Trump. But the thing is, he said that they have to do something, and in his piece, he called for a path to citizenship for Dreamer. Okay, he's talking about Dreamer. He said they need to have a pathway for citizenship, and then we need to increase border security. Remember, this border security issue has been coming up all the time. And then we need to be working with other countries to stem the root causes of migration, as well as modernize asylum system and higher levels of legal immigration. Okay, focus on employment and skills. So that's what he wants to see as far as immigration reform is concerned. But when it comes to undocumented individual, he said that it's unfair fundamentally unfair to just give undocumented individual a citizenship because other who have legal immigration status or are waiting to become citizens. So basically what it's saying is that how come we're just gonna go ahead and give undocumented people some type of immigration benefits when there is a lot of people that have legal status and are still waiting in line to become citizen? Why those people are just gonna jump and just get there that easily? So in his opinion, what he wants to see is they have to earn residency and citizenship gradually via employment. So they should be able to earn residency and citizenship gradually via employment, paying taxes, okay, English proficiency and knowledge of U.S. history and civics, and a clean background check. So that was the subject of his actually interview with CBS. Okay, he talked a lot about it and he's really confident that something can be done. Okay, so and his opinion is really good. At least it's going to influence some of those Republican senators, because remember, he's a former president, he's a Republican, his opinion has a lot of weight, and this has been talked about since it was written, okay, since his last interview. And the interview happened on April 16, 2021, and he's gonna say something. He's gonna have some I think he's working on having like some type of series, and he's gonna be addressing some issues later on, I guess this month or next month. So this is something to watch for, okay, and something to just really be interested in listening, because we don't know, maybe that could lead to something. Okay, so the next thing I was going to talk about is this article. So this one again is from Politico. Remember, Politico is a great and reliable source of information when it comes to, especially when it comes to immigration. And this one, it says, broken promise, Biden's backtrack on refugee still slammed by advocates. What's going on is basically, remember when Biden came to power, and especially when he was campaigning, he told us that they were going to increase the refugee cap. They were going to jump from 15,000 to 150,000, and later on they changed to 60,000. But now on Friday, I guess his press secretary was talking about they are going to keep that that limit or that cap to 15,000. And after backfiring, she came to actually really clarifying the situation, and she said that no, that was a mistake. We're still going to keep our promises, and we will be admitting 62,500 refugees. But the thing is, the information was already out there and people were so confused. And okay, it says that her clarification came hours after the White House said it will maintain the historically low cap first set by the Trump administration. So basically what they were saying, that they were still going to maintain what former President Trump had maintained, the 15,000 cap. But because people were really talking about it, then she came back to clarify, but the clarification came late. Things were already on fire, okay? And the group of advocates were really upset. It was really big deal, because it says, remember, it says here, faith-based organization that had lent valuable weight to Biden's moral case against Trump during the election said that they still felt betrayed even after the White House issued its clarifying statement. So they are still feeling betrayed because they don't know if Biden is gonna keep his promise. So we don't know if this president is going to keep his promise, because this president, I'm telling you, this administration does not have a clear message on immigration. I have talked about it over and over in my previous videos. I said this is very confusing when an administration does not come up with a clear message on immigration. And immigration is a big topic, okay, the most polarized topic in political history, especially in modern times. So, and if an administration does not have a clear message, that leads to confusion and disappointment and, quite frankly, betrayal. Okay, why would they talk about increasing the cap, and then the last thing we know, they're talking about maintaining the 15,000 cap, okay, and now they're backtracking what they said. So it's kind of late. The trust has been broken, okay, and quite frankly, we don't know if they're gonna keep their promises. So that's what these the group of advocates were talking about in this article. Really, they say they don't know. And not to mention, some people are so confused about refugees and asylees, okay, and they're talking about, oh, it's the same group. No, it's not the same group, and they have different requirements. That's why this advocacy group were trying to clarify. So, and then it says here, the Biden administration knows that asylum seekers and refugees, see here, the Biden administration knows that asylum seeker and refugee are vastly different population, processed under two completely different parts, using different staff members and different federal agencies. Those are two different groups, okay? So you can't just put all of them together, because they have different, they're being processed under different agencies, and they have different requirements in order to be admitted as refugee, or in order for you to be admitted as an asylee. There are two different procedures, okay? You can't put both population in one segment and trying to limit the number based on that reasoning. That reasoning is so flawed. There's a lot of flaw in that reasoning, and that's why they keep saying, oh yeah, we're just gonna have 15,000 because we already have a lot of people seeking asylum. Refugees and asylees are two different people, okay? So that's why this group were trying to clarify and telling the Biden administration that, look, don't confuse those two groups. If you're gonna raise the cap for refugee, go ahead and raise it, but you're not gonna raise it based on the number of asylees, people, because it's not the same. They have different requirements. So that's what was going on with this article. Pretty much everybody is upset. Did Biden change his mind? Does he have a clear message? Can they really keep up with their own promises? Are they really going to raise the cap or not? So that was the question last Friday. It was on fire, my friend. So this is the article. I'm gonna leave the links in the description box so you can go ahead and read it for yourself. And please don't forget to comment below, because we need to know what's going on with those people, those politicians. We really have to know what's going on. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. I'd be happy to respond, because I really don't know what to think, to be honest. But I'll be happy to respond. And please share this video with your friends and subscribe, like, of course you must. Anyway, the last article is interesting as well. This one is about the Supreme Court to debate immigration case as Biden wrestles with crisis at the southern border. This article is about it's a case about TPS holders. Remember, we've been talking about TPS holder with the Promise Act having a pathway to citizenship. But because this pathway is taking forever, some people are applying for green card on their own. But this case is about people who apply for the green card after several years of being on TPS, but unfortunately for them, they were found inadmissible based on unlawful entry. So entry without inspection. Remember, I've been talking about those things: admissibility or removability. Those are two things that you have to consider when you're trying to adjust status, because it's always going to come and haunt you. Okay, if you can prevent it from the beginning, please do so. But if you couldn't prevent it from the beginning, waivers are available. But remember, waivers are always discretionary. Must meet statutory requirements first, then position yourself to receive that pardon, which sometime you might not get it. So this is the case about those people who were on TPS for several years, and now they wanted to adjust their status to get a green card, but they found themselves inadmissible based on the fact that they entered the United States without inspection. Okay, unlawful entry. I've talked about it several times, and this is how it comes back to haunt you. But again, the Supreme Court will hear the argument starting, I believe, next week. And so the Salvadorian people, they sued in 2015. Okay, and then the issue was that they were denied a green card because they initially entered the country illegally. Entry without inspection, that's what it's called. So the Supreme Court will hear their appeal Monday in a case that has drawn little attention in Washington, even as it has raised significant question about the Biden administration approach to immigration, not to mention the status of hundreds of thousands of immigrants living in a state of limbo. And this decision really will give us a landmark. Remember, when the Supreme Court decides on a case, it becomes a landmark. It becomes something that we must follow, becomes law, and those people will give us a chance. And hopefully, if they win, we'll have clarity on that unlawful presence. No, not unlawful presence, sorry, clarity on that unlawful entry. Of course, we do have clarity. We know that if you enter illegally, you'll be found yourself inadmissible. But at least we will know if they can adjust status in the United States, or they have to go out of the United States in order to adjust status. That's the issue that will be decided at the Supreme Court. This is really something interesting to follow, because we have a lot of people that have found themselves inadmissible on several grounds, of course, but this one is so specific on entry without permission. So entry without inspection, sorry. And so that's what's going on with this case. And then, so the critics are saying TPS was intended to provide temporary relief, not permanent residence. But the people went ahead and tried to get their green card, but unfortunately for them, because of the unlawful entry, they were found inadmissible, so they cannot adjust status. Okay, because the law says that in order to adjust status, you should have been admitted in the United States at the port of entry or parole in the United States. But those people just enter without inspection, and that has haunted them. And now they're going all the way to the Supreme Court, try to find a resolution. If they don't win, they will be forced to get outside of the United States and change status outside, and that's subject to approval. If you're gonna be lucky outside to get your status adjusted from outside. That's the problem. So it says the people who accepted TPS did so with the understanding that when circumstances allow, they will return to their home country. That's what the critics are saying. They are the one who enter in the agreement in bad faith. That's the critic. They say they enter in agreement in bad faith because TPS was intended to be temporary. But why are they trying to adjust status even though they know that they have been found inadmissible? This will be this is a case that will be is to be debated at the Supreme Court next week. So please follow this case. It's really going to give us a landmark, and we will know for sure how to proceed, especially when we file those waivers. At least we will know if there's chances or not. Okay, so this is very interesting topic. You say it says federal law requires a green card applicant to have been inspected and admitted or paroled into the United States. But Sanchez and Gonzalez say the admission happened when they were granted TPS. Both the Trump and the Biden administrations disagree. Oh my gosh, this is giving us a hint. Okay, both the Trump and Biden administration disagree. So basically, those people are arguing that, yeah, of course we enter without inspection, but admission was granted to us when we were granted TPS. So, but both the Trump and the Biden administrations disagree on that subject because federal law requires green card applicant to have been inspected and admitted or paroled into the United States. So that's where the issue really to decide at the Supreme Court is whether Sanchez and Gonzalez will be able to adjust status while remaining on the American soil. And if they don't win at the Supreme Court, what's going to happen? They will have to leave the country before applying for lawful permanent residency, and they will with no guarantee of being accepted. So that is the case before the Supreme Court. And this is a very interesting case, and this will give us a landmark. As I said, I'll leave the link below, and so you can really both argument. There's a lot of argument to be made on both sides. The government saying that you guys enter in the contract in bad faith because you knew from the beginning TPS is a temporary relief. But now that you're trying to adjust status and you are not willing to follow federal laws that requires you to have been admitted at port of entry or have been paroled in the US. And they're saying that their argument is that we were admitted once we received TPS. This is very interesting. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but this is very interesting. And this, once it gets decided, we will know for sure how to work on our waivers. So, my friend, this is something to look for. Watch for, especially if you have people that have been found inadmissible based on entry without inspection. Okay, that was it for tonight, this lovely evening, Saturday evening. But those are interesting articles. I'm just gonna leave the links in the description box. Go ahead and read them, get informed, get involved, really debate, comment below and let me know what you think. And tomorrow I will be talking about religious workers. Okay, we will go over those requirements because we are really going to get somebody a green card. One way or another, we will get somebody a green card. I guarantee we will do it by any legal means available to us. So that's why tomorrow I'll be right here, probably in the morning after you guys have gone to church and came back. so that I can talk about religious workers. Okay, Bijoux.ngwanda here, immigration lawyer in the DC metropolitan area. This was US Immigration as usual. Until next time, bye-bye.